So how good is the Planet of the Vapes XMAX V3 Pro? This is a device I featured in one of my recent videos, 5 flower devices for big clouds. And this is like the lowest cost option on that list. It's even lower with the Cewpins code, if you know what I mean. But this is actually a solid device, and I think the option to swap out the mouthpiece with a few different adapters or bubblers makes it even better, and it makes it a really solid device in the price point. YouTube's a bit weird with me showing the clouds, so I'm gonna link a video in the description on Rumble where I got some rips over there, and I use this all the time on my Twitch stream. Check me out live on Twitch and Rumble, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. But I gotta say, for somebody that's looking to get into dry herb vaping, this might be a pretty solid option. It's not like the end-all, be-all, best device ever, but it's gonna give you a pretty good idea of what flower vaping is like without breaking the bank. And I'm always hesitant to recommend the lower cost options because, like, what if you get it and you're like, okay, this is pretty good, but now I want something better, and you just gotta buy something 2 or 3 times as much. I like this because it seems reliable. I actually was doing a video recently. I was ripping this and the Lobo at the same time. I think they had water bubblers on both of them. And I was getting like insanely massive rips, like a ball vape size rips. I was like, there's no way I'm getting this much vapor from, it's 2 devices, but it was this and the Lobo. But even this by itself does some pretty big hits. The bowl on it is not super large. It's holding like less than 0.2 grams of flour. And when I put like a water pipe adapter on here, when I put a bubbler on here, I can basically clear the whole bowl in one hit. But look, I've learned that I take bigger rips than your average person, so I can still recommend this for most people because you know what? Not everybody's taking the monster clouds. Some people couldn't clear this in one hit if their life depended on it, and it actually does some pretty good hits. Now, I like this because you get 2 modes on there. You get the on-demand and the session, which the options are nice, but I really just use the session. I'll crank it up to near the max temperature and just crush the whole bowl. I like big clouds of vapor. And while this has its limitations, it actually gives me some pretty solid clouds for the price. Now, this device has actually been around for a little while. There's been a couple improvements made to it. They have a lot of cool color options, and I've seen so many different attachments for the top that really make it cool. The water pipe adapter is nice because there's a lot of people that just have glass and they want to use something with their glass. With the default mouthpiece on here, this little dry mouthpiece, I can only take rips so big. You really pull that heat through. I mean, the chamber's right here. There's not too much distance for it to travel for it to cool off. Any little water bubbler, I mean, they have like a little Gordito attachment. They got a little curved bubbler. I've used them both. But adding one of those little Planet of the Vapes bubblers on top of here, you could just crush the whole bowl. You could take some pretty massive hits. And their water pipe adapter is nice because it's like a 10, 14, 18 mil. It's a cheapo little adapter and it's gonna work on almost any piece. I will say for anybody looking at getting one of these with the attachments, get it with the attachments because I think you just save when you do that. If you get the attachments later, it's a little bit more. But also, one reason people really like this one is it has a replaceable battery. There's so many devices out there that don't have a replaceable battery when it seems like that's just an easy thing to implement. They don't want to put a replaceable battery on there, so if your battery goes bad, you buy a whole new device. But I use a lot of devices with this 18650 battery, and it's just nice to be able to swap it out. Because realistically, some of these portable devices, you're going to get a decent amount of sessions with it, but like, if it runs out, it runs out. And yeah, you can wait for the whole thing to recharge, but just swap a new battery in there and you're good to go. Now, I do have to say, this heats up pretty quick. I've used a number of like handheld flower devices, and some of them take like way too long to heat up. You're like, you're still heating up? You're still heating up? This one is relatively quick and you could just get right to hitting it. And I also like this little tab on the cap here. You can use it to poke the bowl out. You can use it to pack it down if you need. This is a pretty solid option. I've been meaning to make a video on it for a while. I got a trillion ideas of videos to make. But again, if you want to see the rips, I gotta post the rips on Rumble or YouTube will slap me in the face.